We are live once again for another NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode live stream at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's a very long title for this race. The Shape Your Future Start Here United States Census 2020 300 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Coming in off our first career Xfinity Series win last night at Atlanta. If you stayed up late to watch that one, that was well worth it. It was a great finish to a great race. It ended up coming down to an overtime thriller, and Schneider was able to lead the final two laps of the race, getting around Ross Chastain. He won stage 2 along the way as well. Now, the next part is to try and stay inside the top 20. We need to stay inside the top 20 if we're going to make the playoffs. Currently, we're sitting 11th in the point standings. That win boosted us up 13 spots in the points, so that was huge. And we'll see what we can do here today at Homestead. A little bit slower car, 80 on the aero, 80 on the suspension, so that's the same. And then down 1 on the engine power. We were at an 85 in Atlanta last night, 84 tonight. At Homestead, we're using the same exact chassis, so we beat it up a little bit, but not as much as I would have thought. Patrick Shadley, Justin Sozio, DB Forever 85, Billy Kramer, Jackson Thomas, Trevor Grimes, welcome to the stream. Here for the longest title sponsor to a race ever. Yeah, it's almost as bad as the Call 811 Before You Dig, presented by 811. Or no, it was what was the Phoenix race this year? It was like the Call 811 200. Or I don't know. I can't remember what it was. the Call 811 Before You Dig 811 or. I don't know. Whatever. we're gonna get on with the race. That's enough. That's enough of that. That might have been the weirdest intro I think I've ever had to the channel so far. CJ McLaughlin and Cesar Baccarillo will drop to the rear of the field. Schneider coming in with no practice or qualifying, much like in the race at Atlanta last night. It worked out for him then. Can it work out for him here today? I don't see us really winning another race here for a while. Maybe Talladega or Daytona, but that's going to be very unlikely. Today, Schneider's looking for a top 10 to clinch that incentive bonus. Does not want to have to go into Texas looking for the top 10, especially knowing they're going to have to use the same chassis again. Justin Allgaier leads the field to the green, and we're underway at Homestead. 200 laps, 300 miles. 5 different winners in the first 5 races this season. Can we go 6 for 6 here tonight? Oh, Schneider just pinched the 93 of CJ McLaughlin down on the racetrack. He was thinking he could pull clear by driving it in deep into turn 3, and he wasn't able to clear. From 1.5 mile racetrack to another, here in tonight's race, to see what's going to happen. A lot of strong drivers that have not won yet this season. Both the Call-Lead cars and Justin Haley, Ross Chastain. Justin Allgaier hasn't won yet, neither is Noah Gragson. Others that I didn't mention yet as well. It's going to be very interesting to see. Yeah, Austin Cindric, that's another one. Cindric's been close to winning a couple races this season. He will lead his first lap of the race at the line after passing Allgaier off turn 4. So he leads lap 3. Allgaier from the pole on the first 2 laps. Surprised Schneider's back in last place right now. This early in the going, doesn't have that much slower of a car as far as his equipment goes for what he brought to the racetrack. Could have upgraded to an 85 on the aero, but decided not to. Really trying to save their money so they can get that third car in the garage, a third chassis for the short track. So he's looking to boost some more money up. Until then, a top 10 run here tonight at Homestead with a long way to doing that. That'd be an extra $50,000. Harrison Burton now jumps out to the lead. Burton ran strong yesterday. He led a decent amount of laps in the final stage at Atlanta. He also won the Phoenix race. So a couple of strong runnings coming into this race. You got to see if he's got some sort of momentum. But 3 top 10s in the first 5 races for Schneider. With that win, 1 top 5. It's a good start to the year. A little bit of a snap back to reality in the opening laps alone in this race here today. You're surprised the race car is as slow as it is. Well, there was no practice or qualifying. That definitely hurts, that's for sure. There's just over 13 seconds off the race lead. Whatever happens in this one, he's going to have to make sure he does not go a lap down. He's got to stay in the lead lap, and maybe he can pull off what he did at Fontana and just get a top 10 with some pit strategy and tire strategy throughout the course of this race. Homestead's one of those tracks that is slowly starting to eat tires on longer runs. Kind of saw that in the Xfinity, well, really all 3 series when they raced there earlier this season. Going to get worse and worse the more and more they race. Schneider is starting to close on the back of the pack a little bit more now. McLaughlin's still in the 35th spot, then you got Landon Castle, Austin Hill, Chad Fincham all ahead of him. Both in 2.5 seconds ahead of Schneider. At some point, Schneider's going to need these guys to start winning races. Does not want to have more than 12 different winners. That's going to force Schneider to having to win another race in the regular season. Like I just mentioned, that's going to be tough to come by. It's what's going to make Talladega so important in a couple races. The thing is, he's got that super speedway chassis already, so you have to assume he could be one of the favorites. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Cardinals won 7-0 over Miami. Nice. The Tigers lost today, 3-2 to the Twins. Bumps them down to 3-3 record, which is still not bad. 500, very early in the season still too. I haven't missed. I mean, obviously I've had to work during some of the games, but I've still been able to catch it during my second break because they've been 1 o'clock games. They've only played at 1 o'clock so far, so I haven't even been streaming during the Tigers game yet this season. But yeah, I've at least watched a little bit of every game. Days I haven't worked, I've watched the whole game. Listened to the end of the game yesterday on my way to the golf course after work. It is nice to see baseball back. It was especially nice this weekend with it being the opening weekend of the MLB. And NASCAR was off, so I had something to fill my weekend sports-wise with NASCAR having the off week for Easter. Aiden Roll and XY Games, welcome to the stream as well. 10 people already watching. Greatly appreciate it. Harrison Burton's really pulling away from the field. Schneider just passed McLaughlin that last lap. He's working on Landon Castle now. I thought you were going to talk about the setup to my car for a second. Still, I was reading like deeper into that comment, and I was like, oh, he's talking about the background of... I could do that, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of things I could do to help with the lighting and everything. For sure. I just don't know, like, how much money I actually want to spend on it right now. So I'm having to... I mean, I've already made... I mean, if I really think about it, everything I've spent for the channel already, even if I want to count like race tickets, which I would have, you know, went to races even without the YouTube channel anyway. I started going to races in 2018, 2019, before I had the YouTube channel, but yeah, definitely. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream as well. Yes, thanks for the good remarks on that first career Xfinity win from last night. It was a heck of a race, that's for sure, and we had to fight for it still.
Say hi, say hi.
Maybe got a little lucky with that caution coming out late. Oh, Schneider got loose off turn 2. Drifted all the way down the racetrack behind the 13 of Chad Fincham. How did he hang on to that race car? $91 years old, that's nice. Congratulations for her. I thought for a second when Schneider got loose, he was going to clip the right rear or maybe even get into the back of Chad Fincham when that car turned back down the racetrack. I don't know why it got so loose all of a sudden. It's a little on the edge in the center of the corner. But that was as bad as we have seen it by far so far, and now he'll get around Chad Fincham. Harrison Burton is getting closer and closer to the lap traffic. He is right now working on CJ McLaughlin, the last place car. Schneider's only in 32nd. I'm very surprised he's running as poor as he is here today. And Atlanta was just kind of one of those oddball races, I guess, that he was going to run well, but I really was expecting maybe him to compete for top 10, top 15 today, but at least early on, it is not looking that way. He's going to be in desperate need of a caution at some point here in the stage because we're only about halfway through the stage and Harrison Burton's still running him down. Let all but the first 3 laps of the race. It'll be lap 20 at the line as he's now putting Chad Fincham a lap down currently. So he's about a second and a half behind the 99 of Schneider. Schneider continues to close on Jesse Little and Cesar Baccarello ahead of him. A lot of road racing going on for Billy, it looks like. Ross Chastain trying to run down Harrison Burton. Again, Chastain came close. We didn't go to overtime last night. I think he would have ended up getting the victory. Schneider would have brought it home in second.
Stay on the bottom.
Even on the restart, Chastain still put up a good fight. Schneider gets around Jesse Little. He's working on Cesar Baccarello. So move him inside the top 30. He passed both those guys at a right time because Harrison Burton is closing in as he gets to the outside of Jesse Little and Cesar Baccarello, and now he's all over the back bumper of Schneider down the front straightaway. 24 laps to go in stage 1. Schneider trying to hold up the 20 of Harrison Burton right now. Burton running that middle of the upper lane. Schneider still trying to block it side by side with the lap cars further back, battling for that free pass position. Schneider's just trying to protect right now on the inside in turns 3 and 4. Chastain has finally gotten around the 2 lap cars, and he's about a half a second, maybe a little less behind Burton for the lead.
Got one up top.
Schneider's in desperate need of a caution. Chastain to the bottom. Schneider going down to the inside, but he slides up in front of Burton again off the exit of turn 2, and now they're side by side for the lead into turn 3. Chastain to the inside of Harrison Burton.
Got to call it high now.
Burton's got to run. takes the air off the right rear of Schneider's race car, and Burton hangs on to the lead.
Got a Carlo now. All right, halfway to the lap. All clear.
We're about halfway through stage number 1. Now Chastain's finally going to get underneath Schneider as well. Harrison Burton's going to put Mike Harmon a lap down. So Harmon's in the free pass position. So Schneider's racing as hard as he can right now. He held off Harrison Burton and Ross Chastain for about as long as he could. There's a big gap way back to the third place car on the racetrack. Jesse Little and Baccarella are still even in front of the third place car. Austin Cindric. Schneider's just trying to finish in the free pass spot down to the end of the stage so he can get his lap back. He's got it currently as he passes Mike Harmon. It looks like Jeff Green in the 38's about to go a lap down now. Green had a great run 2 races ago at Phoenix, finished 5th.
Laps,
20 laps to go in the stage. Burton's only putting more and more drivers a lap down, though. That's what's not helping Schneider in the 99. Schneider's only going to get faster as this run carries forward. And again, he's conserving his tires well like he's done all season. Outside of Vegas, I guess. Vegas stage 1. And even the rest of the race after he blew the right front, he did a good job keeping care of his tires.
Still there.
And being able to do that puts him in these strategy positions.
Careful, still there. Clear eye, bud.
This is Jeff Green for 28th. Phillies are 5-1. That's definitely a strong start to the year. I think I saw scrolling across like the bottom of the screen when I was watching the Tigers game on break today, that the Oakland Athletics were 0-6 going into tonight's game. I didn't even realize that. I haven't like looked at the standings at all really. I've just really only paid attention to the Tigers and the team we played, obviously, with the Indians and the Twins. Yeah, hey, good for the Phillies. Slide job on Ray Black Jr. through turns 3 and 4. Schneider's not going to be able to keep up with Harrison Burton, but how many lap cars is Burton going to be able to pass is going to be the big question right here. And Burton's passing quite a few. Schneider's trying to get around Josh Williams in the 92. Oh, we got loose off turn 2 again. We saw the car kind of sliding in the middle of the corner up the racetrack. Still nowhere near as loose as what he was a good dozen laps or so ago.
Stay high up here. Hold your line, got one inside.
And here comes the third place car of Austin Cindric. Schneider around the high side to get around the 92 of Josh Williams for 26th. Love how I'm slowly progressing through this race. Yeah, just chipping away little by little. Seeing what all we've got out of the race car. Cindric's going to get to the inside of Schneider. Easy how far Cindric is in third place here, only 30 laps into the race, behind some of these other drivers. Lucas Castle, welcome to the stream. Schneider's pacing as if he should be able to get into the top 20 before the end of stage 1 if it does go green. You have to imagine with the pace Harrison Burton's putting down, though, here in stage 1, that he's going to lap more cars than that. Tomorrow's the Cardinals home opener. Yeah, the Tigers started at home for the first 6 games. They got their first road game on Friday. They're off tomorrow. They got the travel day tomorrow. So no Tigers game for me on my day off, unfortunately. It's supposed to rain in the afternoon, too. That would have been perfect to have a Tigers game to watch. Would have been inside anyway. It's always raining on my days off, I swear. At least it's like, it's not raining in the morning that I can get out and golf in the morning, but by the time I got home on Monday, it rained. And I was stuck inside. I was watching the Tigers get demolished by the Twins 15-1 at one point. It wasn't much of a game. I could have went white, but I didn't want just a plain white car. We might change it later in the year, see how that looks and how you guys might like it. I blame Credit One Bank. So what I looked at and tried to figure out why can't I see the sponsor with this color blue, because Kyle Larson, with his Credit One Bank schemes, his cars were blue. You can see the sponsor pretty fine. Well, the Credit One Bank logo on Larson's cars in the past were all white, so that's why he had the blue car. And they gave us the colored Credit One Bank sponsor logo instead of the white one. So unless I want like a plain white car, and then we got probably the worst, like default paint scheme looking like all we have is that little swoosh in front of the number to work with for color schemes for this season. Because for whatever reason on the career mode you can't actually, it's a lot harder to make custom paint schemes versus what it is in the actual custom car mode. The only times it hasn't really rained when I'm off has been on Sundays, but I've been watching the race. So, you know, I already know what I'm doing that day. But yeah, Mondays and Thursdays, it seems like it's always raining. Or either raining or it gets super cold. Like last Thursday, it was only like 32 degrees, so I didn't golf that day either.
Careful, still there.
32 degrees last Thursday. Fast forward 6 days later, we had 83-degree temperatures today. That's Northwest Ohio weather for you guys. That's our spring weather. It is 32 degrees literally one week, and then the next week it's in the 80s. And then I think this weekend's supposed to be back into the 50s again. Like, what? What the heck? It's been like that since I was a kid. It's always been like that. Pretty much from March through end of April, early May, it's always like that. Once we get into like the middle of May, then it starts to stay in the 70s, 80s pretty consistently, and then in the summer it gets pretty hot and humid. But then you get back into like late September, into October, early November, and then you have the same thing again, where it's going to be like in the 30s and 40s one week, and then the next week it's going to be in the 60s and 70s. It's the same thing. Gotta go to work at 4 in the morning, get off at 6 p.m., sometimes at 5. Keep on the grind, man. That was hard for me. That's why I switched jobs. Same with Maryland, you get all 4 seasons in one. Yeah, because it was snowing when it was 32 degrees on Thursday. Not hard when it was flurrying. We had snow flurries on Thursday, and then it's 83 degrees. Same place, 6 days later. How does that happen? I'm not a meteorologist, obviously, otherwise I'd have a logical explanation for that. doesn't make any sense.
Clear high, clear high.
And then, like I mentioned, I think it's supposed to be a high of like 59 on Sunday, and I think it's supposed to be like 55 on Monday. My 2 days off. Whoop-de-doo. I'm actually going to a Tigers and Indians game on Sunday still. 59 degrees is not bad. That's why I'm going. It's a 1 o'clock game too, so we can still stream at night. Sunday night. I'll be home by like 5:30. 6 o'clock at the very latest. Got 14 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody tuning in. We're at the end of stage 1. Just 3 laps to go for Harrison Burton right now. Schneider's just trying to pick up as many spots as he can. It looks like he should be able to get around Colby Howard for 20th and Timmy Hill, who's having a good run for NBM right now. In the 19th position is a little too far out of reach. We have not had a caution for incident so far today, so just a lot of green flag racing. Trying to get a run on Colby Howard. 3 wide to the outside. Noah Gregson might have been in the way, and McLaughlin just about stuffed Schneider in the wall. By the way, there is one driver out of the race for a particular reason. Not exactly sure why. They might have blown an engine, because we did not get a caution. We'll have to wait and see who that might have been during the stage break. 2 laps to go. Schneider pushed way up the track getting into turns 1 and 2. Yeah, it's kind of my days right now where 6 to 4:30. Half-hour lunch. Final lap of stage 1. Oh yeah, I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt on the golf course today for sure. Wore shorts and a t-shirt one other time this year already. I do wear shorts a lot, but I'll have like a sweatshirt or a long sleeve like shirt if I'm golfing at least. The only time I really wear pants is if I'm inside all day. Green, white, checker flag in the air for the first time here tonight, and Harrison Burton is going to win stage 1. Trying to keep up his good early start to the year. Schneider rounds out stage 1 in 20th. Definitely a big step back from Atlanta after he won and actually won a stage last night as well. Scored stage points in all 3 stages. Still the only race he's even scored stage points in. So here we go. The 13th place car of Matt Mills is going to get the free pass during the stage break, and Schneider's going to play a big risk here. And he is going to stay out to take the wave around. This is a very big risk, but remember in the last couple races we have gotten a caution very early in stage 2 that both times, not Atlanta, but the 2 races before that, both times I was like, man, we should have taken the wave around. Well, today, we're going to take that wave around. This is going to move Schneider to 14th.
Coming to the green.
And now he's going to hope for a caution before his tires burn out, and he's going to have to pit under green. Ross Chastain wins the race off pit road. He'll restart from the lead. Sky gets a little bit darker, and the green flag is back in the air again. Hardest difficulty is Legend on the career mode, or 105 for the AI difficulty. Schneider's got to win this. He's only got about 10 laps of fuel, so he's... I think the tires are going to make it to the end of the run, but he's only got 10 laps of fuel that he can go for. So he's really hoping and banking for a caution right now, and this could save his day majorly. And give him a shot at a top 10 for sure. Everything's all jumbled together on the restart. Austin Cindric's in second right now, right behind Ross Chastain. alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today. It was actually Schneider's fastest lap of the race, and that's on very old tires here at the beginning of stage 2. Now, this is saving as well. This is definitely saving himself a set. And if we do get a caution, he can pit. He might not even go down at the end of stage 2 having those fresher tires. That's if he gets the yellow. Oh, I already forgot to check what driver DNF'd. My bad. I'll have to wait. Wait and find out again. We know we're going to get at least one more restart. Yeah, still no caution for incident. That's the risky part of things here. But he's playing the trends off recent races. Ethan, welcome to the stream. 13 people watching at 14 just a second ago. Hit that like button. We've got 7 likes so far. Subscribe if you haven't already as well for more daily NASCAR content. Do these full race live streams with the realistic broadcast every day. I jump-started my young broadcasting career. Follow me on that journey. Cindric and Chastain are battling for the lead into turn 3. Pretty heavily. Going back and forth. You can see on the lower left-hand corner of the screen where the track map is. Schneider on these old tires is slipping away even further than what he was before. It is race time indeed. He's got about 6, now about 5 more laps of fuel. So he's going to need that caution. Pretty stacked here. He's going to need this caution in a major way. This is definitely the risk, though, with taking the wave around, but he'll be up to 14th. If he can get the yellow. 36 laps to go, currently in stage 2 as well.
You're wearing those tires down, driver.
Schneider's likely going to take right side tires only when he does hit pit road. Try and save some time so that way he only loses 1 lap instead of 2. The bright side of the things is that he's got the win, so playing this risk isn't a huge cost. But he does have to stay in the top 20 points. Again, he came in 11th. He's still going to be struggling here for some odd amount of races. And again, he's going to need that caution even quicker. He can maybe go another 2 laps on fuel at the most before having to pit. He has conserved his tires well, though, here at Homestead to make it this far into the fuel run. He's going to get to the end of it if we don't get the caution. About a half a track behind race leader Austin Cindric.
We can manage our tire a little, okay?
Schneider's going to stay out 1 more lap and hope for the caution.
You gotta go and hit for gas.
So all the further he can make it on fuel. 33 laps to go in stage 2. Remember, this pit curve is not very fast either. Schneider's coming to pit road. It'll be right side tires only, no practice or qualifying, so he hasn't had to try to make a stop yet. 45 miles an hour and speeding on pit road for Keegan Schneider. Oh, what a tough break. That was the one thing he couldn't have. And without practice or qualifying, it was going to be tough. A speeding penalty on pit road. And that is going to cost him an extra lap. And he was already going to bite the bullet for not pitting under the stage brake and not getting the yellow to get the wave around. And this is going to hold him 15 seconds as the penalty for the pit road speeding penalty. It was about a little less than 10 miles per hour over the limit, but obviously way too far over the limit. And here comes the field. 2 laps down.
Hammer down.
Right side tires only to try and save a little bit. Still got 3.5 sets left the rest of the race. This is going to make the car a lot looser as well. BMNJ, welcome to the stream. Justin Allgaier jumps to the race lead now. Schneider's 29th. Older left sides than everybody else, but fresher right sides than everybody else by about 11 laps. It's just a camouflage hat. It's my work hat because our dress code at work, if I'm going to wear a hat, it can't have a logo on it. I can't wear my golf hat or any of my sports team hats, so... that I also use for golfing, coincidentally, but yeah, I can't wear those, so I had to buy a plain hat. I was wearing a stocking hat when it was cold outside. It's obviously not cold this week, so I saw the weather was supposed to warm up last week. I went on Amazon and just bought a plain hat. So it's just camo. I'm gonna order a black one too. More than one, that way I can wash it. Clean it. Are you asking what my hat is? What's my...
Still there?
What's my hat because it's camouflage and you can't see it. So it's like I don't even have a hat on. No, I know you're an asshole for that. It's bad. That was a really bad joke. But that's what happens when you're riding 2 laps down on the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. I have taken my hat off a couple times on streams before. I think I've streamed once or twice without a hat as well, but it's been a while. You must have just missed that stream. Yeah, I do have hair. It's thinning, but I do have hair for the moment. For the moment. It's going to be interesting here. Schneider should be fine to finishing 2 laps down to the end of the stage. What is the strategy call, though? That pit road speeding penalty cost him, that's for sure. See, where he's at on the track right now, if he was within 15 seconds, or I should say without the speeding penalty, he would be about 15 seconds ahead of where he's actually running, which he'd still be in 29th, and he'd maybe be 1 lap down. He might be 2 laps down anyway. I mean, he'd probably barely be ahead of Harrison Burton right now, 1 lap down. And if it stays green to the end of the stage, it looks like he was going to go 2 laps down anyway, so I guess it was worth the try.
Careful, still there.
Trying to do something new. When I turned my head, he thought it was yeah, it is a camouflage hat. I mean, where's my hat?
Got a car high.
What hat are you? What is this hat you're speaking of? The plus side to that wave around strategy not working and only taking right sides, that Schneider's going to have 3.5 sets of tires going into the final 2 stages. Now, he will have to take 4 tires at the stage break.
Careful, still there.
Or he could try and stay out again and hope for another wave around. Problem is, he only put enough fuel in it to make it to the end of the stage and then maybe an extra 9 laps. If he would have put a full tank of fuel in there, yeah, he might have lost a couple extra seconds, but I think he'd be doing all right. I do have a camouflage Tigers hat too, though, that I wear a lot. More so during baseball season. I don't wear it in the wintertime.
Still there.
That's where my Red Wings and Packers hats are from. Pistons. All the older sports that are played in the wintertime. But yeah, race day, I got a Blaney hat on. And then I have 2 different Detroit Tigers hats. I want to get a 3rd one. I've got like an orange and blue one, orange English D logo for the Tigers, and then it's all blue, and then I have the camouflage, which was actually a Memorial Day hat. They wear those every Memorial Day. They change the design a little bit every year. I think that one was from 2019, and that's because I went to that game, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, I want to get those, so that's why I have that. As far as the channel goes, no, it's just going to be NASCAR. Somebody else is up in smoke and is slow on pit road. Looked like it was Austin Hill in the 61. So that's not going to be a spot for Schneider. So I believe Hill was already running behind him. Now the good news about Schneider being 2 laps down is that if it does go green to the end of the stage, Harrison Burton put a very fast race pace in stage 1. He had a great long run car, and he was able to put a lot of guys 1 lap down. If he does that same thing here in stage 2 if it goes caution free, as long as Schneider stays 2 laps down, he can still maybe jump back up past the top 20, which is where he was running. I mean, he was running 20th at the end of stage 1 anyway. First you don't succeed, try again. I think Schneider's going to try to take the wave around at the stage break, especially if we get a caution before the end of the stage. He's got to do it because he's going to pit for 4 tires. Then, instead of at the stage break, is going to be the plan. Or we get a late stage caution, everybody in the lead lap pits, he stays out to take the wave around that pits at the stage break. Either or, he's going to do opposite of the leaders. If the field gets split in half, as far as the lead lap cars pitting or not, he's still going to pit. Trying to go from there. There is some varying strategies if we do get a caution in this stage. Yeah, they've got some different ones. This is a snapback. I wanted a fitted because I wear a lot of fitted hats. But I couldn't find any that were cheap enough. I wasn't going to spend like over $20 for a plain hat that I was going to wear at work and probably sweat it a lot. Like my other hats. So after so long, I'll probably end up having to get more of these plain ones and throw them out as I go because they're just going to start to smell over time. But this is only the 2nd time I've worn it, so it'll be good for a few weeks at least yet. With washing it, but you wash it too many times and it's going to tear apart. The only reason I can wash it without tearing it apart the first time is because I have this thing that I bought from Lids that has it's basically it's like a roll cage looking thing where you put your hat in it, then you throw it in the washer so it doesn't damage it, but it's still Might get a little bit of a bleachy color after so long, though. Joey Logano fan, welcome to the stream. Again, the podcast is coming tomorrow night, not on race day. The reason why it's not going to be on race day this week is because they're running Saturday night and I have to work on Saturdays, so I'm not going to get off of work until about, or getting home from work, I should say, until about an hour and a half before the race, maybe a little less than that. So I'm not even going to really have any time to golf. I might hit the driving range just so I can keep my swing up, but definitely not going to be able to play before the race. Andre Sion, welcome to the stream. Great stream, by the way. Yeah, a lot of just talking about random stuff here today. Kind of like the Phoenix race yesterday. We're just not competitive. Still got a little strategy up our sleeves going into the final stage and maybe late in stage 2 if we do get a caution. But for right now, Harrison Burton's coming to 11 laps to go on the stage this time. That's the strategy Schneider's holding on with. But I work at Home Depot distribution. I just started working there right around the new year. I think I got hired in a couple days after the new year, so I've been working there for 4 months now already. Wow. Before that, I worked in a warehouse in Toledo. That place didn't treat me too well. But I'm in a better place now. I'm in a better place. You guys know it. I was rambling about the bad days at work. Some of the days because it was that ridiculous, and I know you guys didn't want to hear about that stuff. But about this new job, I've been quiet about it, which is good. Because everything's going pretty good. And I'm happy because I can take my road trips off and it's not a hassle to try and get them off. And a hassle to try and keep this YouTube channel running. With my other job, I was just working too many hours. I was going in at well, first of all, it was a 55, it was about a 50-minute drive, 45-50-minute drive, 50 minutes on most days. And I was working 13.5-hour shift, but we were staying late, so it was more like a 15.5-hour shift. Just hold the phone, everybody. We have a caution. Caution is out for just the first time today on lap number 82. And Schneider's going to take the wave around. He's going to get to 1 lap down here. Oh, this is massive. And we have a stage break coming up very soon, so I'm surprised there aren't more lap cars taking the wave around to get back on the lead lap. Free pass will go to Anthony Alfredo in 14th, by the way. So this will already immediately cycle Schneider to 21st. If he could somehow hold on to get the free pass on top of it, that would be insane. But he's got to restart at the rear of the field, so I guess that's not going to happen. Plus, he's on older tires.
Keep your head on straight. Be ready.
Green flag back in the air.
Let's go. Got one peeking inside.
Harrison Burton leads the field to the green, so Schneider with the wave around. That was a perfectly timing caution.
5 to go. You got this.
We have 5 laps to go in stage 2.
Still there.
And Schneider come from 2 laps down just to get back on the lead lap today. That'd be impressive of itself.
Careful. Still there.
Good jump on the restart at the back.
Looking inside now.
Justin Allgaier to the lead on the restart. They are just getting up to speed up towards the front of the field. 4 laps to go now in stage 2. Harrison Burton dominated this race up to this point. Won stage 1. He's trying to win stage 2, but he's now in second. It looks like Brandon Jones in third. His teammate is trying to get around him as well. Ron G, welcome to the stream. I have not played any of the GTA games. Well, I've probably played them, but not on my console. I think I've played them a couple times at other people's houses. But That's about it. Schneider's going to save. Why not? Save your equipment. Those left side tires are still the same left sides he had at the start. He's not going to gain any spots. Stay out of trouble, save your tires, and maybe even try to take another wave around. He's got another 18 laps of fuel. Saving fuel, backing it off as well. 2 laps to go right now in stage number 2 for Justin Allgaier as Harrison Burton, Brandon Jones breathing down his neck trying to get to the lead. Allgaier started on the pole. He's been in the top 5 all day, but he's only led 2 laps up until the couple laps he is currently leading after taking the lead on the restart. And Burton back to the lead into turn 3, but can Allgaier fire back? Caution will wave for the second time today, and the second time in less than 10 laps we get another caution. Everybody is going to stay out of the pits except for Jeff Green, Landon Castle, and CJ McLaughlin, but Schneider is going to pit now. 4 tires for the first time today. Going to put a half a round of wedge in the race car to try and tighten it up a little bit. No damage to repair. And now he's going to have a little bit fresher tires. He's only going to have 3, maybe 4 lap fresher tires, and Joe Graff Jr. is going to pit as well. I think he sees Schneider pitting, so. Again, he can't take the wave around because everybody pitted, or everybody stayed out during that pit stop that was on the lead lap. So he's just going to pit now. First time he's been able to change those left sides all race, so this car is going to be feeling good again. The green flag's back in the air. 2 quick cautions. And now with fresher tires, him and Joe Graff Jr., can they get to a position where they can race their way into the free pass spot and then get another caution from there, and Schneider's back on the lead lap after being 2 laps down, which is pretty remarkable considering the fact he really only has a 20th place car today. Cindric to the lead on this restart now. Harrison Burton, by the way, did win stage 2. He got to the lead maybe a couple seconds before that caution wave with 2 laps left in the stage, so Harrison Burton has swept the stages tonight at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, and now this track is completely in the dark under the lights at Homestead as we race this final stage in the second half of this race. Schneider's going to keep fighting. He's got 1 of his laps back. He's got fresh enough tires that I think he's going to be all right. Oh yeah, for sure. If it's 60 degrees, I have the windows down. Both windows, both front windows. Well, I only have front windows in my car anyway. So, yeah, windows are always down if it's 60 degrees. I don't care if it's windy or whatever. Music cranked up. Let's go. Especially if I'm on the road. Like out of town. Get pumped, let's have a good day. It's the kind of feeling I like to have 9 times out of 10. Career mode is way more realistic than championship. I don't know. I honestly feel like the career mode isn't, but we're just being more conservative with our equipment. We're not racing harder because I know that we don't have the equipment to compete for wins. That's why we only DNF'd once in the truck series. We haven't DNF'd in the Xfinity series at all. She's doing a good job. I'm going to save my Martinsville prediction for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we'll have the podcast. You'll have my fantasy in-depth analysis and my prediction to win the race as well. Harrison Burton has jumped back to the lead a couple laps ago, by the way, on Austin Cindric. Burton is the guy to beat tonight. Again, 5 different winners in the first 5 races. Burton has a win already. He won at Phoenix 2 races ago. Backed it up with a top 5 as well last night at Atlanta. He's looking for 3 top 5s in a row. He's got a huge source of momentum going for him right now. He's a little better on the longer run. Man, this is... It's going to be interesting. By the way, that podcast will be at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So usual time, different day. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're just getting off work, maybe, you can hop in and listen. We'll talk NASCAR for about an hour. Everything leading up to Martinsville. Yep, we got NASCAR Chase for the Cup coming up on Friday.
You got room. You're clear.
What is fantasy new in the NASCAR world? So like there's fantasy sports for any sport. NASCAR's no different. They have fantasy. The difference with NASCAR, it's almost kind of like a sweepstakes kind of thing on their app or mobile website. Mobile app or website. You can go to the fantasy portion, sign up with your email, search for KRC League, join our league. Essentially, you're picking 5 guys. Well, you're picking 6, but you can start 5 of them. You can change your lineup every week, so you don't have to have the same drivers. You can only use the same driver in a week up to 10 times for the course of the season. So, for instance, I've used Kyle Larson 3 times already, so I can only use him 7 more going forward for the regular season. Then there's a different thing for the playoffs, but the same thing. And the points are scored simply off of the driver points. If you have Martin Truex Jr. in your lineup, he scores 46 points during the race because he scores, 20 points for his race finish, and then he scores, 30 points for his race finish, and then he scores 16 stage points, gets 46, you get 46. You just have the 5 best guys in your lineup. You have until the end of stage 2 to actually lock your lineup in. Whoever's in your garage doesn't count against you. He doesn't get scored points at all. So, say they have a mechanical failure or wreck in the first 2 stages of the race, you can put them in your garage and swap them out for somebody else. If you have multiple drivers that wreck, which I've had a couple times this year, Dirt Bristol was a big example of that when I had Larson and Bell on my team. They both crashed in stage 1. You're kind of SOL at that point.
Careful, still there.
I wouldn't say a Dirt to Daytona series is going to be there. I think Winval beat me to it. And I don't want to just copy off of him, so no, I'm not going to. I thought about it briefly. I've actually never really played that game. But no, not going to do any Dirt to Daytona stuff on the channel. Not anytime soon, that's for sure. That game just fits me perfectly, I would assume. Talladega make or break for the fantasy league. It definitely could set the bar, I feel like. Who's going to be the contenders and who isn't. And they're still in 21st right now in this final stage. And he still has 2.5 sets of tires, so he can pit for right sides once and 4 fresh tires 2 more times the rest of this race. Giving him that upper hand, that is big.
Still there?
And side trap Josh Williams off turn 2.
Stay on the bottom.
Dirt race. He's talking crazy talk now.
Outside.
It's not even possible. There's too much banking.
All right, you're clear.
We just slide right down the racetrack.
Outside.
Especially in stock cars. I mean, they can't go that fast on dirt anyway. I don't even think there's an engine that can going full throttle on dirt. You can't really do that. Despite what the video games say, you can't really go full throttle on dirt. 100% of the... I mean, you can go full throttle on dirt, but I mean, like, you can't go full throttle all the way around a racetrack. I mean, you're sliding around so much, you have to kind of feather the throttle a little bit. You know, lose control. And that much banking, too. Like I said, the cars are just going to slide right down the banking. It's crazy talk. I like your wild imagination, though. It can be useful.
Stay on the bottom here. You got room. You're clear there.
Closing in on Colby Howard. So again, he's trying to get into the free pass position before we get a caution. I believe there are 14 drivers on the lead lap after that last yellow giving the free pass to somebody. So Schneider's trying to get to 15 to get back on the lead lap. Gets the free pass, he might as well pit at that point. Already going to get his lap back. Take 4 tires, and then you have a set and a half left the rest of the race still. That's if he gets the free pass. Right now he's still in 21st. He's just less than 2 seconds behind the 20th place car of Colby Howard. Joe Graff Jr. is on equally fresh tires as Keegan Schneider. Only 2 seconds ahead of him in 19, so... You have to imagine the 15th place car can't be that far ahead of Schneider. Schneider's only getting quicker and quicker as this run carries on.
Careful, still there.
Tires aren't going to be a huge factor, though, because they're only about maybe 3 to 4 lap fresher tires. But I think that wedge adjustment, tightening the race car up, has helped him more so than the tires right now. So he clears Tommy Joe Martins down the front straightaway. So there's a lot of cars still in between him and Harrison Burton, and Schneider's only about 2/3 of a track off the race leaders. He just brushed the wall off turn 2. No. We don't need any more. If we're going to have more dirt races, which I'm fine if we have 2 to 3 dirt races, they have to be on actual dirt tracks. We can't just start throwing dirt on every short track. We can't just start throwing dirt on Martinsville because it worked at Bristol once. No. We are not doing that. That's going to take away from our traditional short track racing. We only have so many short tracks that we can go to. It's a terrible idea.
You're all clear up top.
Again, though, I am liking the wild imagination. Not as wild as Talladega on dirt. Besides, why would you want to see Talladega on dirt when you have Talladega normal? What's wrong with Talladega now? I said the same thing about Bristol, though, too, and they put dirt on Bristol. Not even Auto Club. No, exactly. I mean, that's the whole idea of Auto Club Speedway going to a half-mile short tracks because we don't have enough short tracks on the schedule. It adds another short track on the day. Don't turn it into a dirt race. It defeats the purpose. I mean, there's so many dirt tracks that they could go to.
Stay on the bottom here.
I mean, not so many, but they have a handful of dirt tracks that they can run.
Careful, still there.
But again, I mean, I don't want to see more than 2 or 3 at the very, very most on the schedule. If we do have more dirt races. But if we do have 2 to 3, I want them to be on actual dirt tracks. And not,
Careful, still there.
tracks that we know of now in NASCAR. And just slap dirt on it. Schneider just got around Colby Howard that last lap. He's working on the lap car of Joe Nemechek. Josh Malicki, another lap car is in front of him. And he's about a second behind Joe Graff Jr. in the 0-8 for 19th.
All right, you're clear there.
2 cautions in this race, both in stage 2. There's a little less than a quarter of a lap ahead of Harrison Burton. Josh Malicki kind of runs him down, but Schneider still clears him on turn 4. Bristol on dirt was just a mess, to be honest. The truck race was, but I thought the cup race was really good. The cup race actually ran pretty close to a normal dirt race. If you were to go to like a local late model show, it wasn't a vast difference other than it was NASCAR. Probably wasn't, they weren't going as fast because those cars aren't necessarily built for dirt.
Car high, careful.
Working on, oh, Joe Graff Jr., a little contact off turn 4. Gonna go up and side draft him, and then he just got a little too tight off the exit of the corner. He will slide job in 1 and 2, and this time he clears Joe Graff. Clements, Timmy Hill. 2.5 seconds ahead of Schneider. Yeah, I do think Bristol Dirt was a success. I would just rather see them go to Eldora or Knoxville, or Charlotte's got a dirt track that they could probably go to if they added more seats. It's literally right outside the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the oval, the big oval. They would have to add more seats for that. They'd probably have to add more seats for Knoxville and Eldora as well, but Eldora could sit about 30,000 people. They could still add seats down the back straightaway if they wanted to. I mean, they could easily get that to 40 to 50,000, I would think. If they wanted a cup date. NASCAR wants, more butts and seats at the racetrack. Haven't been to Knoxville, but I'd imagine a similar concept there. They have taller walls though, so I don't know how that would work exactly. I'm sure you can just have bleachers tall enough to sit over the wall. Like it, tracks with higher banking, I guess. Higher banking in the tri-oval, I mean, it's the same thing, they're just steeper seats. It'd be like climbing a mountain to get to the top level, but we already have tracks that have that. Alright, 79 laps to go at the line for Harrison Burton, who has dominated this race. And he is closing in on Keegan Schneider right now. But Schneider is closing in on Timmy Hill, Jeremy Clements for 17th and 18th. Has to get to 15th to get in the free pass position. The problem is Harrison Burton's going to try to put him 2 laps down. Schneider's hoping that that won't be the case, but I don't think he's going to have much of a choice here before long. Maybe about 1.5 seconds ahead of Burton. I don't think Coda's going to get to 100% capacity, but I think there's going to be a decent amount of people there. I don't know how many people could sit. If it sits like 150,000, which I don't know what the numbers are for it. I can see there being 100,000 people there. Harrison Burton riding the top. Schneider's been on the bottom all day long. He's conserved his tires up. Remember, everybody else has to pit before Schneider has to pit. Schneider can go about an extra 4 to 5 laps. Well, I should say about an extra 3 to 4 laps on fuel. We're not sure what the tires have looked like as well, because he saved his tires a little bit more. So that could bail him out as well if we get a caution in that tight window. Oh, here's a big move by Schneider. Oh, just can't quite clear Timmy Hill. He did clear the 51 of Clements. Hill side drafts him down the front straightaway just a little bit, pulling him back. Not what Schneider wants because Harrison Burton's charging on the bottom. Brandon Brown, the free pass car, in 15th right now, still 3.5 seconds ahead. David Starr in 16th, 1 second ahead of Schneider. Yeah, Texas allows 100% capacity, but I don't know if, I mean, it's still, even though they allow it, it's still COVID times, and you're not going to, I just don't think you're going to have people want to go to Circuit of the Americas with the pandemic going on still. Like, you will have people that are going to want to do it, but not 100,000. Well, Harrison Burton just got around Schneider, a little contact off of turn 2 as Schneider tried to pinch Burton down, but to no avail. Schneider hard through turns 3 and 4. And he has to lift. He drove it in way too hard. Thing is, though, is when he gets to Brandon Brown, Brown will be the first driver a lap down still, but he'll be 2 laps down.
Careful, go back.
Schneider's going to make the pass on David Starr for 16th. All clear. In the middle of turns 3 and 4. Coda could go 100%. With it being the first year there, but if it wasn't the pandemic, I really feel like there would be a good chance. And caution is going to wave right after Schneider goes 2 laps down, and we've seen a lot of these types of cautions so far this season. 75 laps to go, and Schneider's going to take the wave around and hope for another quick yellow. But everybody's going to hit the pits. Hemrick will get the free pass in 14th, so I guess they weren't even racing Brown anyway. They were racing Hemrick. Now there's going to be 14 drivers on the lead lap. Schneider will remain in 16th on the restart, and he'll have to race Brandon Brown for the free pass. But he's going to have older tires, so basically he's just banking on there being a caution, I guess.
All right, man. You're coming to the green.
Hey, Joey Logano fan.
Green, green, green.
He's tried the wave around once. It didn't work. We'll see if it'll work again. Well, I guess he tried it twice. The one time it was going to work anyway, so that's why he did it. And the first time, it just didn't work. We're late in this race, stage 3. And he can go about another 21 laps on fuel. Why not? Everybody's short to the end anyway. He could still make it on one more pit stop if this does go green to the finish. He'd just be pitting a good 30, 35 laps before everybody else. We do have 4 drivers out of this race now as well. We'll alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race. 69 laps to go for Harrison Burton, who won the first 2 stages. He's dominated the day. Schneider again, 1 lap down. The 3rd different time today. He's been 2 laps down twice now. And remember, he's got 2.5 sets of tires left. Sorry, a set and a half of tires left. Or no, I had that right. Yeah, so he's taken 4 tires once and 2 tires once, so he has 2.5 sets left to the end. He will have to take 4 tires at some point just to make sure he'll make it to the finish from there. If he can just get back on the lead lap and we get a bunch of late race cautions, we might see another miracle. This one is going to be even more so of a miracle because he's only got about a 20th place car on overall speed. Schneider needs a top 10 for that incentive bonus. If he doesn't get a top 10 today, he's going to have to get it in the next race at Texas. I think what you're seeing here today at Homestead is about what he's going to do at Texas, if not worse. He's got to hope for the best in the closing laps. No stage points tonight for Schneider as well, so he needs as good of a race finishing position as possible. Again, he's trying to stay inside the top 20 in points. pulling out all the stops today with strategy. He's doing everything he possibly can, and hoping for a little bit of luck along the way, and he hasn't gotten it, really. Right now could change everything. Either way, he's probably going to need a couple cautions to really get back into this and have a shot to win. Because even if we get another caution with this wave around, there's no way he's going to get around Brandon Brown on older tires right now, so he's not going to get the free pass. He'll need another caution after that to then get the free pass, because he's the only driver one lap down, so that's the plus side of things, outside of Brandon Brown. Yeah, no mask mandate in Texas as well. There's a couple states that don't have that. I have to look to see if Alabama has something like that. I know I'll probably have to wear one for the NASCAR race anyway, but outside of that, I go to eat anywhere or something, I'm going to need a mask. Ohio always does it. Even the right rear tire's not wearing out a whole lot. The right front. The right front's actually wearing out a little more on this run because tightening the race car up a little bit. We've had 3 cautions for incident. Schneider really trying to bank on another. These are Goodyear tires. They're worn out Goodyear tires right now, but they're Goodyear tires nonetheless. Either way, it's going to be tough for anybody to knock off Harrison Burton in this one, that's for sure. We'll go back to the normal camera for the rest of this race. But again, we have 2.5 sets left the rest of this race. That's why if we do get a bunch of cautions late, this is really going to play into Schneider's wheelhouse if he can get back on the lead lap. And even just to stay one lap down, I mean, he's locked in at least 16th, which is better than where he ran in the first 2 stages anyway.
See if we can manage our tire wear a little, all
So
right?
it's still improvement with the strategy, even if he does finish one lap down. Sunoco's the best gasoline company in gasoline history. Yeah, we don't have a Sunoco in our local town anymore. We used to, but it's been business for probably longer than what I'm actually thinking it has been. And there's a Sunoco in another smaller local town, probably like 10 to 15 minutes from where I live. Outside of that, you gotta go like inner city. Find another
You're
Sunoco.
wearing those tires down, driver.
I don't think Fremont's got one off the top of my head. They probably do on Main Street, but not one that I can like vividly picture. I have to go to like Toledo or something like that to find one. Or, you know, drive out to I-75 towards Bowling Green, I guess, maybe. But that's still like 25, 30 minutes for a gas station. There's other gas stations. There's a lot of marathons around where I live. That's like the big... That's our only gas station in town right now is a
Your
Marathon.
tires are getting pretty bad.
It's like all the small towns around my small town all have Marathon gas stations. I still got a little bit of time to try and hope for that caution, but not a lot more. If we don't get the yellow, he's going to have to hope it stays green to the end and have everything cycle through when he's on fresher tires. at least not stay green to the end, but again, have things at least cycle through green flag pit stops, which is going to be a while considering the fact that they all just pitted about 15 laps ago. Yeah, BP is pretty cheap. That was like always cheaper when I did work at Toledo compared to like Speedway and a bunch of other ones over there. Fuel Mart's a really cheap one too. I don't know how far. There's a bunch of Fuel Marts in Northwest Ohio, in the Michigan, Southeast Michigan area. I don't really know exactly like out of state how many Fuel Marts there are, but yeah, Fuel Mart. Could just be a Midwest thing. I don't know. I really don't know. Haven't really paid close enough of attention if there was any Fuel Marts down in Alabama when I was there last year for the Dega race, so I really don't know.
Your tires are getting pretty bad.
I didn't know Quick Trip was a gas station until I went to Atlanta for the first time a couple of years ago. No clue. Always knew it was one of the sponsors for that Atlanta race there for a couple of years and didn't know what it was. And they're still trying to bank on that caution and he hasn't gotten it yet. Right front's down to about 3%. And he's going to push it one more lap. Why not? He's got nothing to lose.
See if we can manage our tire wear a little, alright?
Taking the wave around just doesn't seem to work as much in this game. It's hard to play the caution game. It really is a guessing game. You can go off trends, but you really don't know until it actually happens. Schneider's gonna have to pit off turn 4. Got to make sure he doesn't speed this time.
Slow down.
And he did right on the money. Sliding the tires into pit road. It'll be a right side tire stop. Full tank of fuel. No damage to repair. And no adjustments under the stop for the 99 of Schneider. Wave around did not work. He's going to lose a lap. He'll go 2 laps down again, but everybody will have to cycle through pit stops before the end of the race. So again, just throwing that out there. Man, what a slow pit stop. What are we sitting here for? I don't know why. I mean, the pit stop was over 5 seconds ago. We're just sitting on pit road for 5 seconds. But 16.4 second stop, and that was right sides only. My goodness. And Schneider's now 3 laps down. That's unbelievable.
Car there on the
Even
outside.
with a normal pit crew, that's about a 7 or 8 second stop. Well, we had to pack it full of fuel anyway, but I don't know why we were just sitting there for 5 seconds. I mean, it only takes 12 to 13 seconds to, at the most, to get a full tank of fuel.
Got one peeking inside.
Great car control. I don't know. It's just practice. I have to make a lot of green flag pit stops with these 4 races, so it just comes naturally. Being able to, that's why I make so many crazy saves too. I just have a good feel for things. Always comfortable with doing these long races. I have to be able to drive on the edge at least some point. Try to make the car as stable as I can. More than speed 9 times out of 10, simply because they got to make it to the end of the race. But Yeah, the last glimpse I saw, it was like right at that 45 to 46 mile an hour. It was definitely close. I thought I saw 45 right when we hit the commitment line. By the way, Schneider's 21st right now. But everybody else still has to cycle through stops. So Schneider's hoping this plays green. And if it does play green long enough, he should be able.
Got one outside now.
Yeah, if it plays green long enough, he should get back to 1 lap down again. And will a two-tire stop get him ahead of Brandon Jones? As long as nobody else goes a lap down, that is. Which is possible. Harrison Burton's got a bad fast race car tonight. I've seen Burton lose the lead multiple times on restarts. So if we get another late race restart like we did at Atlanta last night, maybe an overtime finish, I'd be surprised if Burton does not pull off the victory. At this point, Schneider's really hoping he does, for the simple fact that he needs repeat winners. He's last of everybody that has wins by quite a bit right now. Everybody's in the top 6 of the 5 drivers that have wins except for him. He's 11th. He's likely going to lose spots again today with no stage points and currently in 21st. With just less than 50 laps to go, he's 3 laps down. Schneider's definitely going to get at least 1 lap back if we stay green to the end. At least, again, long enough for everything to cycle through. Go about 54 to 56 laps on fuel is the guesstimated window. And we went green with 70 laps left. So ideally, the leaders can make it to about that 12 to 15 lap to go range at the very most, and then they'll have to pit. So they can't make it to the end. If they were going to try to stretch it, that's how far they can go. It's still quite a ways from now. Schneider's got 2 full sets of tires left. That's just mind-boggling at Homestead of all tracks. I mean, this isn't Atlanta necessarily, or Auto Club, but I wouldn't even say it's as bumpy as Vegas, but he's definitely getting there, and the fact that he's only used 2 sets of tires this entire race is impressive. It's just flat out impressive.
Stay low. Careful, still there. All right, you're clear.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to push the issue too much with this game if you are over within the like NASCAR actually gives you 5 miles an hour, yes, but at the same time, this game doesn't always give it to you either. It's kind of like how steady you are when you come to pit road. Like if you're out of the gas and out of the brakes and you're within that 5 mile per hour limit, you can get away with it. I've done it before. You know, I lock the brakes, and then as soon as I'm about to hit the commitment line, I get off the brakes and I'm out of the gas. And usually it slides. It's probably a glitch with the game that it lets it slide, but it's something I figured out. It was like that with NASCAR Heat 4 too. It's a little trick. If you're wondering how to get onto pit road, maybe a little faster without speeding. I'm not going to say it works every time, but it has worked for me before. It seems like when you're on the gas or 5 mile per hour window, it still can catch you for speeding. But you have to be close though. You can't be like 10, 15 miles an hour over. You got to be within about 5 miles an hour at the most. Travis finished multiple laps down in 2 races of the first 5 this year. Really, every race he hasn't finished in the top 10, he has finished at least 6 laps down. Not going to go that many laps down tonight, but just riding it out for now. Got 2 sets of tires in his back pocket to the end of the race. Schneider is going to be close on fuel. He was showing about 2 laps to the good. Came off of the pit lane. Him being a couple laps down, though, will help. 2 laps to the good, but it might be more laps to the good by however many laps down he finishes. If he finishes 1 lap down, it'll be about 3 laps to the good from when he came off of pit road. It'll be about 4 laps to the good if he'll end up finishing 2 laps down from the time he came off pit road. Obviously, that's going to vary during the course of this run. How much fuel is he burning? How much is he saving? Not saving a whole lot. He's using the brakes trying to get into the corner. Just a tiny bit. Especially after taking right sides, I was automatically going to loosen this race car up a little bit more again. Again, 14 people watching, 12 likes right now. Thanks for everybody hitting that like button and subscribing if you have already. And if you haven't, please do so. And this is the place to be. You got daily NASCAR content, and now we get a yellow. Caution's out again. Free pass goes to Brandon Brown. Schneider is going to take the wave around again. It hasn't worked for him. And caution's going to save him a little bit of fuel. Going to save those left side tires as well. So he'll be 2 laps down. But that is not what he wanted to see. He wanted this to go green, so he would have gotten that lap back under green. And then maybe hope for a caution after that. There's the guys out of the race. Ray Black Jr., Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, and Chad Fincham are all done for the day. Schneider's up to 18th on the restart after taking the wave around.
We're going green. Are you ready here?
Green flag going to be back in the air here at Homestead. Following the 4th caution for incident in this race.
Still there.
32 laps to go on the restart for Harrison Burton. Can he hold on to win? Nobody DNF'd after that last caution. Brandon Brown's completely sideways all the way through turns 3 and 4. It looked like he was really fighting that wheel back and forth. Burton did not lose the lead on this restart. 31 to go. Still out in front trying to block the inside lane. It looks like Chase Briscoe in the 98's right behind him. Briscoe also another driver who has won a race this season. Burton's trying to go for the clean sweep today by winning both stages and the race. Again, 2 sets of tires left for Schneider the rest of the way. That battle for the free pass position is where you see right there. Jeremy Clements in 16th. Currently has it, but these guys are 2 laps down. Again, that's going to be as far up in the running order as it looks like Schneider's going to be able to get today. 2 laps down, pretty much impossible to come from. He was as much as 3 down in this race. At least he fought back to 2 laps down. On older tires, I don't necessarily think he's going to be able to stay in front of Harrison Burton to the end. Again, we restarted with 32 laps to go. So Burton's probably going to catch him if we do stay green to the finish, but he's not worried about Burton again. He's worried about Colby Howard, David Starr, all those guys for position behind him. Burton and a lot of those leaders could pass him again, but as long as we don't get another caution, Schneider should be locked in with an 18th place finish, which is, again, better than what he ran at the end of either one of the first two stages. So the strategy at least improves his position, but as far as trying to get back on the lead lap, it looked like it wasn't going to matter. It was worth a try, though, because it definitely did not hurt his finishing position, which is a plus, but it looks like he'll have to go for a top 10 tomorrow night at Texas. Or sorry, not tomorrow night. Gosh, I guess we won't have a career mode episode for a while. We got full race live stream for the Cup Series tomorrow for the custom schedule, and then we got the podcast, so we're not going to be able to do a career mode episode tomorrow. And then Friday we've got NASCAR 05 coming back, and then Saturday we might be able to get one in, but I highly doubt it before the race starts, so it looks like we're just going to live stream the actual race. I'll tell you what, I gotta go to the bathroom really bad right now. I know that might be too much info, but man, we still got 26 laps to go. Yeah, 26. Oh, caution's out. Jeremy Clements gonna get the free pass. 5th caution of the race. Looks like Michael Annett might have been the cause of the accident. I don't know. If he wasn't the cause of the accident, he's hitting pit road. That might be another position if it is a DNF that was ahead of Schneider as well. Then go. I don't want to pause the stream and make you guys wait. This caution's prolonging it a little bit, but that's alright. Schneider's going to pit. He's got 2 sets of tires left. He'll top off on fuel, making sure he'll make it to the end. No adjustments for this 99 team. That's alright. We're good. We can make it to the end. We're almost there.
Be ready. Ready. Green's out. Let's go.
And Burton's got to try to hang on for another restart. Green flag back in the air. Michael Annett has fresher tires of the lead lap cars.
Careful. Go back.
Schneider's got fresher tires as well. Can Michael Annett come from mid-pack to get to the lead? Am I gonna have to pull? Oh, that's disgusting. I was gonna say I'm gonna have to pull a Tony Stewart at the Glen and just have to go in my shorts. I'll clean the chair off when I'll clean the chair off in the morning. Tony Stewart won that race, so maybe that's what we have to do to win this thing. Come back. We just got to make it oopsies. Harrison Burton still hanging on to the lead. He's up on the high side through turns 3 and 4. Michael Annett's still digging. Schneider's well digging forward. Fresher tires. He's trying to catch Timmy Hill right now. He's not going to be able to catch Jeremy Clements. Clements is 1 lap down now instead of 2. I'd say the yellow was good for us because we can gain another spot on Timmy Hill. Nobody DNF'd out of it, so we didn't gain a spot there. So we can gain 1 more spot on Timmy Hill. It looked like we were locked into an 18th place finish. We definitely can make it on fuel now. We were going to be close before, but I think we were still going to make it, especially with the caution prior. We've had 5 cautions total. They're trying to catch Timmy Hill
Still there?
for 17th. It's the battle he's going on, and who knows, maybe somebody else DNFs before the end. He's got 1 more set of tires, so if we did get another caution late, I can pretty much guarantee Schneider's going to pit again. Sound of water, sound of... I don't have to go that bad. Otherwise, I would have went. If it was a case of emergency, I would have went already. Trust me. Well, we were close to the end here, so. It's 18 more laps for Harrison Burton. Michael Annett has won a race this season. He won at Fontana. Harrison Burton won at Phoenix. So even if Annett catches him with the fresher tires, it would still be a repeat winner. You gotta worry about everybody else, though, with these late race restarts. Not necessarily just the two favorites, and who's to say we aren't going to get another driver to pit? If we do get another caution, much like Michael Annett, they'll have even fresher tires. We'll have less laps, but even fresher tires.
Inside.
Well, there are only 15 drivers on the lead lap. It just shuts the door on Jeff Green. Timmy Hill's actually pulling away from him in traffic. He's 3 seconds ahead of Schneider. I didn't say we were going to get Timmy Hill for 17. Instead, it gave us a chance with that last caution. We might need another one. Increase one more position, one more point. I already mentioned it's been a great run for Timmy Hill, but just seeing Timmy Hill at 17th, even though it's an Xfinity race, not a Cup race, that's impressive for that team.
Car high, careful.
Really impressive. I've had to pause games due to nature calling before. Oh, I definitely would have won if I was not streaming, but
Still there.
slides underneath the 44 of Tommy Joe Martins.
Hold your line. Got one outside.
Surprised the fresher tires aren't allowing Schneider to be at least quick enough to try and gain on Timmy Hill. I didn't expect us to be faster than the leaders, because we haven't been anywhere close to that kind of speed today. I don't know whether to be disappointed or not on how the car was speed-wise. It is the same car we used at Atlanta, so it's a little beat up, but I was expecting a top 15 run on speed, and I mean, we had to strategize ourselves into the 18th place spot. I mean, we were about 20th on speed without DNFs. I mean, a couple DNFs we have had, I know Allgaier was definitely in position. Maybe one of those other guys were as well. Yeah, it looks like the next career mode episode is going to be on Sunday when we go to Texas. Only because the race is on Saturday night, but still. Assuming that the next NASCAR game doesn't come out until... I'm assuming it's going to come out in August, September. We got plenty of time to get through this career mode playthrough. Taking a few days off from it isn't going to hurt. We're still on pace as long as we win the championship each season. I think I have enough time to run an extra season, but that means I'm going to have to use another month up if I did have to run a second season, whether it's in the Cup or the Xfinity Series. Oh yeah, you can definitely DNF if you crash hard. We DNF'd in the Truck Series once. In this career mode, we have ran very smart more often than not. That was definitely a freak accident at Kentucky when we DNF'd in the Truck Series. 10 laps to go here at Homestead. 9 laps now for Harrison Burton. You can turn DNFs off, by the way, in this game. I just leave them on for the realistic factor of it. I know we only got 9 laps to go now, but no, we're good. We're good. I was about to say it's about to be an emergency here before long. It's only 4 more minutes. I mean, it's not. We're almost there. This is going to be known as this race is going to go. Forget the long title to this named race. As Patrick mentioned before we started, it's the longest title. It's going to be renamed as the Don't Shit Yourself 200.
Careful, still there.
That's the new name of this. Jokes aside, 7 laps to go now for Harrison Burton.
Clear eye, bud.
I could see that being the title of the NASCAR Xfinity race, but it would be bleaked out, so it would be like a bunch of stars. It would be the don't star yourself 500 at. I don't know what's a track that would have like a lot of those moments inside the race car. Probably Bristol, Talladega, Daytona, one of the super speedways.
You got room, you're clear there.
That might be the title. That might be going up on the no, not the title. That might be going up on the thumbnail when I get caught up with thumbnails on these career mode videos, which I showed with the next 3 days off. I think on the corner of the thumbnail, it's going to be part whatever it is now. Don't shit yourself 200. We're having a little extracurricular fun here tonight on the channel. What we gotta do to pass the time when we're not competing for the win and really nowhere up with a battle for anybody either. We haven't really been battling most of this race, just kind of running our own strategy to get to 18. Keeping the realistic broadcast through most of it though, as I try to do again with these full race live streams. So 4 laps to go now for Harrison Burton. Is Michael Annett anywhere close to him right now? Again, will we stay green to the end of this race? Burton's coming to 3 to go. You guys know the drill if you're familiar with NASCAR. When the white flag comes out, the next flag ends the race, whether it's the yellow or the checker. Harrison Burton just a little less than 2 laps away from that white flag. They had an overtime finish last night at Atlanta. It was the first and only overtime finish we've had so far in the first 5 completed races this year. This being the 6th race of the season. Burton's making his way through turns 3 and 4. White flag will be in the air. 1 lap to go for Harrison Burton. Can he hold on to win this race? It will be a second win in a 3-race stretch. It will be the first repeat winner this season. So we'll still hold on with 5 different winners, but the trend of different winners to start the season will likely come to an end, barring Michael Annett doesn't catch him on those fresh tires, but even Annett's got to win this year too, so either way it would put an end to it. Still got to make it through turns 3 and 4, though, for Burton. Not sure how heavy the lap traffic is around him. Checkered flag in the air off turn 4. Harrison Burton dominates and wins at Homestead. Burton won both stages and the race here tonight. A max points day for him. He'll be going for the regular season championship. He's towards the top of the point standings, and he'll definitely be at the conclusion once everybody gets around and gets their points. Schneider brings it home in 18th, 2 laps down. Third time we finished multiple laps down this year, but we're expecting some slower runs here to the end, that's for sure. Top 15 finished on the lead lap today. We had 5 cautions for incident total, and that got up to 3rd with the fresh tires. So it worked. I think he was running like 13th before that. Harrison Burton again wins both stages and the race. Chastain finishes in 2nd. Michael Annett 3rd. Briscoe 4th. Gregson 5th. Cindric 6th. Brandon Jones 7th. Riley Herbst 8th. Ryan Siegler with a good bounce back run at 9th. And Justin Haley rounds out the top 10. Man, Ross Chastain's close. That's back-to-back second place finishes for him. And we'll see going into Texas if maybe he can get it done. $84,000 in the bank. We dropped the 13th in the point standings. I'm trying to make this quick. You guys already know why. So, yeah, Schneider is running 13th in the point standings right now. Harrison Burton tops the charts by 29 points over Austin Cindric after that second win of the season. So, Burton leading the playoff points race as well. Harrison led 180 of the 200 laps today. That's insane. I didn't realize he led that much. I know he won both stages and the race. So, Harrison Burton led all but 20 laps in this race today, despite the 5 cautions as well. And the alternating pit strategies we saw, especially late there with Michael Annett. Great run for Harrison Burton. It didn't look like anybody was going to compete with him here today. One more thing before we get out of the stream, and that's to take a look at the shop and see where we're going to be at going into Texas. Again, I saved my money that race. I might as well just keep saving my money. Otherwise, it's going to defeat the purpose of why we did it there. How many drivers go to the playoffs? So in the Xfinity Series, 12 drivers go to the playoffs. So we only have 5 different winners right now. But if we have more than 12 different winners, it goes based on points. So that's why we need all the points we can get still. We're definitely on pace to having more than 12 winners. We've only got 7 spots open, and we still got 20 races to go before the playoffs. So on to Texas in the next race. We have to finish top 10 to get the $50,000 incentive bonus. Again, we're saving up for that 3rd car in the garage. So that's a strategy with that. Not going to train anybody. Again, we are saving money going into the next race. So we're going to have an 84, 80, and 80. I'm going to end the stream. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys next time. Podcast tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will run at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our full race live stream tomorrow night at Texas for the custom scheduled championship mode. Should be a lot of fun. It's a half race, in fact, at Texas, only a 50% or 250 miles, so it's a short one. Definitely tune in. I'll see you guys tomorrow for an interesting doubleheader of action on the channel. And thanks everybody for watching again. I'll see you later.